Now I think it's submitted by everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So should I start, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now let's continue our program. Over to Ritu, ma'am. Please start, ma'am. Our next session.
Um, okay, welcome back, everyone. Before I move on to the support agencies where you can go with your idea, discuss it with them, and they can guide you about the viability of the idea and whether it can be a good business opportunity or not. First, understand this: who are the stakeholders in a business? Besides the promoter who is starting the business, there are certain stakeholders of the business who can be the first one, and the most important is your customer, the person who will be buying it. It need not be a person, by the way. It depends on what your business idea is. You might be selling to another business who will then be taking the product to the market. Your customer might be individual citizens of the country. You might be your customer might be businesses in other countries or citizens of other countries. Your customers might be government bodies who will be consuming that idea. So depending on your idea, the customer can be another individual, or customer can be an individual, or customer can be another business, or it can even be a government institution or a large institution. And in all these things, the strategy for selling or designing your product changes, right? So the most important stakeholder of the business is customer, because customer is the one who pays for your product or service. And only if he perceives value in whatever you are offering will he pay for it. And unless a business is profitable and the customer is willing to pay for your idea, your solution, it's not a business at all, right? It's a business when somebody wants it and is willing to pay for that thing, and you're making enough profits. There are enough number of people who want that solution, who want that product, and therefore you can make profits out of your business. That is customer is the most important stakeholder. Then other stakeholders might be your partners. You might not be able to run say you might be able to start on your own, but you might not be able to take it to a very large scale till the time you have right kind of people with you, right? So they can be your top managers, or they can be your partners in business. They become very important people who will help you execute the business, because a lot of businesses fail in selecting the wrong need, or identifying the need or the want of their customers. A lot of businesses fail in execution. So team becomes very important, be it your partners, or co-promoters in the business, or maybe your key employees in the business. Then another stakeholder might be your supplier or your distributor, the person with whom you procure the raw material and the person through whom you deliver your product or service. They can be your stakeholders, important stakeholders. Then investors, people who are investing in your business. Say you have taken a business loan from a bank, then bank becomes a stakeholder. Say you have taken individual equity funders. There are people who have taken equity against I hope I'm not confusing this. It's about you giving a part of your business to somebody against money, right? So that's equity. So somebody to whom you offer a partnership in your business for money, right? So that investor. So whoever is investing in your business is risking his money on your business. He becomes a major stakeholder in your business. Then government can be a stakeholder in the business, because a lot of legal and statutory compliances are through government. You have tax liability towards government. You need to do government registrations and follow the government guidelines for running your business. So government also becomes a key stakeholder. And if you have a business which is B2G, that is business to government kind of a business, then government becomes also the customer. Then you have industry bodies, right? So all these people, other people in the industry, right, and their associations, in the same sector in which you are working. Say Aishwarya wants to work in agri sector, so other organizations who are providing services to agri or related to irrigation, they the peer group, the people in the industry become the industry body. They also become a stakeholder. in the business. So all these people, your competitors, right? So or people who supplement your ideas, so they also become stakeholders in your business. So you need to know this, because these are the people, these are the factors, or these are the people you need to take along or in your primary research before you go for implementing your idea, or when you are validating whether to go ahead with your idea or not. So the agencies you can reach out to, where you can get access to all these stakeholders, to various resources, is one is at college levels, at in most of the professional institutions, you have e-cells. These are entrepreneurship cells. Now entrepreneurship cells generally are informal organization of which students become members. Now, e-cells can be a totally student-run organization, or it can also be a faculty-led e-cell in a college. Different colleges have different models. Some colleges run it like a student club, like you have a science club or a robotics club. You also have an entrepreneurship club, kind of a thing. So in some colleges, it is a student-led initiative where students who are interested in entrepreneurship, they create a group and they bring in the resource people who can guide the students and give lectures and train the students on this, or who can handle the student queries when they have ideas and they want to discuss with someone. Sometimes it's faculty led, where it's faculty led. There's a faculty who oversees the activity of this e-cell, but still students are the primary members of the cell. And this is the forum where all the entrepreneurship related activities, be it training activities, awareness campaigns, or doing business plan competitions, or maybe doing one-to-one with entrepreneurs and mentors is concerned, is generally organized in the campus by e-cells. Now, there's another formal organization that is called incubator. So a lot of educational institutions, and mostly science and technology institutions, had this program running since 1985 by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, which was Technology Business Incubator. Technology Business Incubator was mostly given to science and technology institutions of India. All IITs have it, all NITs have it, and a lot of private technology colleges also now have it. There are more than 100 incubators now that are supported by Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. These incubators are not-for-profit organizations, and they handhold an entrepreneur right from ideation stage till the time the enterprise, till 2-3 years of their journey, till the time the idea either takes off, or say the business either takes off, gets some funding, or it closes down because it's not a success. So incubators are part of that journey from ideation to making it a business, right? So this is academic. So these incubators are mostly in academic institutions, science and technology institutions. There are also some science and technology incubators in R&D institutions, CSIR laboratories and CSIR institutes of the country. So incubators are present in, so it depends on what kind of idea you have. Now incubators are generally sector specific. Most of the incubators, except few, say the ones in management colleges, say I'm Ahmedabad or maybe Amity College, they are sector agnostic. I mean, they don't care for which sector your idea belongs to. But a lot of science and technology incubators are also sector specific. They deal with the technology in which they specialize. So some of them would be dedicated to, some of these research institutes are also dedicated to agricultural technology. Some of them are dedicated to biotechnology. So Department of Biotechnology has these biotechnology incubators. So if you have any idea in field of pharmacy, in field of medical sciences, in field of biotechnology, you can approach a biotechnology incubator, which has all the lab equipments where you need to develop a new technology, biotechnology product. Right? So they have all the wet labs available there, government certified equipment available there. There are also research funds available with some of these research institutions where you can co-partner with their scientists and do your research on a scientific idea if you are developing a new technology or a new product, right? So there are incubators which are dedicated to the field of IT and electronics. So currently, if you already know, in 2012, the Atal Incubation Mission was there. A lot of colleges were provided Atal Incubation Centers, where this is again a incubator, but they are more widespread in their technology, in the range of ideas that they cover, right? So there are Atal incubation centers that are there in a lot of colleges now. They are close to 50 or something which have been established. So incubators are sanctioned by Department of Science and Technology, by Department of MSME, that is micro, small, medium enterprises. There are incubators that are sanctioned by Niti Aayog. There are incubators that are sanctioned by Department of Biotechnology, by Ministry of HRD. So a lot of colleges, if you go and search, will be having incubators. So a lot of them in South India. So if you research and find the nearest incubator and you go to them, they'll be helping give a feedback on your idea as to how to validate it, or whether how viable it is. Right? So this is one place you can go to for guidance. You can be in touch even if there's nothing concrete. The incubation managers themselves are pretty aware of what's happening in that field, particular field in which their incubator works, because they are dealing with ideas in and out, day and night. That is what they are dealing with. So they know what's happening in the industry, and they can guide you. So this is one place to go. So incubators generally, when they are government supported incubators, generally will be not for profit entities. They'll provide you with infrastructure. They provide with office space. They might be, if they are research incubators, then they'll also provide you with lab facilities. There'll be labs where you can do your experiment and develop your product along with faculty guidance and guidance of scientists. And there will be shared or managed services. So if you want to open a business center and you want to make your employees sit there, and you know how expensive it is to get a shop and make all the administrative arrangements there. So this is a subsidized infrastructure where you can get a seat, a per seat cost kind of a thing. You can get the space where housekeeping, security, and other facilities are all common, shared facility and managed facility, besides the guidance that you'll get from the mentors there. So what else does that incubator provide? An incubator provides you access to mentors. Mentors are people who are experienced in the field and who can guide you on your idea, help you validate it. They'll provide you access to industry experts. So if you want to do, say, ideation in a particular industry, I'll take an idea of Aishwarya. She wants to do something in the field of agricultural irrigation. She can go to an incubator that works on agri-tech, and she can explore there, and they'll connect them to people who are experts in the industry, and she can get access to the mentorship there and to the industry experts there. Also, when you want to access the industry networks or people from the industry, they might not entertain an individual, but when an institution approaches them, as a incubator approaches them, they'll readily give you an access or an appointment to go and meet them. So that is some access that is made available through an incubator, right?
Yes, ma'am. That would be very helpful.
Now, also, an incubator has its own internal pool of mentors who are associated there, who will primarily work with the idea in the raw stage. So they'll have enough experience to be able to guide a person at a raw stage to do the feasibility study of their idea before they go ahead with the idea. The government schemes, the government support schemes are generally implemented through these incubators. Government passes on their schemes through their recognized incubators. So you can have access to those schemes. They can be funding schemes, seed funds like up to 20-25 lakhs are available. A lot of DST institutions have seed fund. Seed fund is a support of 20-25 lakhs. But let me tell you, nobody gives you money to start a business. Everyone gives you money when you have started a business and shown some promise in the business. So the initial fund always has to be generated by your own personal resources. You have to do a pilot. You have to create either pilot, or say a working prototype or a minimum viable product that you'll be doing. There should be some pilot project to show. Once people are convinced that this is a viable thing, you can do it, you have the capability, and people are ready to take this project, it is then that the investment will come. So do not think that you have an idea and somebody is going to come and give you money, go and implement your idea. You will implement the idea and then people will give you money to take it forward, right? So initial funds, some of it has to come, the risk has to come from you, and then people will trust you and then risk their money on you, right? So of course you can take money from friends, family, or your known people who are interested, who trust you personally even before you have executed it, ki haan, you can do it. But professional funds will come once you have shown what you can do. So that pilot has to be there in place. Then okay, so government schemes can be in form of funding schemes. There can be subsidies, like you are exempted service tax, or it was service tax earlier, GST now. You'll be given an exemption on GST, so you can offer your product on a more competitive price to your customer while you are in the incubation center for 2 years. So those kind of government schemes also you can get access to. Then there are training programs which will always be conducted in institutions like an incubator, which will be on different aspects of entrepreneurship or on technical aspects of things, depending on which field the incubator is working in. Then there are also acceleration programs that an incubator might be organizing or sending you to. I'll talk about accelerator programs next. Then there are funding connects. So once your project is ready at a fundable level where you already have paid customers, you have done the pilot, you might have got seed funding or angel funding somewhere, and your product is now in the market and customers are showing interest in your product, that is the time when you can actually raise angel funding. So an incubator can help take you to angels, connect you to angel funds, or invite angel funds and connect their startups to them, present their startups to them. So that is another connect that can be made available through an incubator. And this is a big support for first generation entrepreneurs. Who are first generation entrepreneurs? Jinke ghar mein traditionally they do not have a business background. So they do not already have connects, and they traditionally are not aware of how business is done, and they do not have the right market networks and resources available to them. So if I'm from a service class and I want to do a business and nobody is there to guide me or help me, I do not have access to resources or knowledge, that is the time for first generation entrepreneurs, such support agencies are very, very useful. Then there are consultants and service providers you can access. For instance, you want to register your business, you need a legal person who can do it at the right cost. So an incubator can connect you to a legal person who can do the registration. They can connect you to a CA firm. They can connect you to a company secretary thing where you can get your IP registered. Say you have a product which has an innovation involved and you need a patent or a trademark over your company. You need to get your company registered, or you need to do some tax compliances, and you need an outsourced accounting person. An incubator will have a pool of these service providers in their network to which they can connect you. So it eases out a lot of your operational hiccups, can be taken care of if you're part of one of these institutions, one of these support institutions. And it also gives you a lot of credibility, because you enter a support institution, you get selected for the incubation or acceleration program by a credible institute only after quite a few due diligence done. So if you have been selected for that program, that itself gives you a credibility. When you go into the market and say, I am coming from IIM Ahmedabad incubation program, people will take you seriously. Then you are not just a student who is just trying to just think of an idea and might or might not be able to do it. People know you are a serious entrepreneur. That is why Incubation Center has taken you in their incubation setup, because there's a whole selection thing. Another very hidden benefit which is never mentioned but which is very important is the peer network that you get there. So there are a lot of people who will be doing, say you go to an agri-tech incubator, you have an agri idea and you are going to an agri-tech incubator. There are this whole group of 20-25 entrepreneurs who are trying to work in agri field. there are so many things you learn from each other and share with each other. And there are so many supporting things that you can do with each other. And that support is a huge support. You live in a world where everyone is working in the agri sector, right? Everyone knows people in the agri sector. Everyone knows what is required in the, everyone has experiences in that sector. जिसने शुरू किया होगा, they would have had their own learning curve. Different startups at different stages would have their own learning curve. You get to benefit from each other's experience, learning, networks, etc., which is a huge benefit which you cannot get sitting at home and doing on your own. So that is one more advantage of being in a setup like that, because you get so many people walking the same journey, doing the same journey. And then you have access to lot many other learnings and resources along with that peer network. So these are some of the benefits why you can get associated with an incubator, an academic incubator, not-for-profit incubator. But there are other support agencies, like there are also corporate incubation programs, right? Innovation programs these days, where corporates invite for ideas in their sector. Say a bank will have a competition, an annual competition, saying ki I have anyone who has any idea in solving a payment issue can approach us, and we'll be selecting the best idea for incubation or acceleration at our bank, right? So a lot of corporates are now entering into this, who are looking for business ideas which they can in turn they find interesting, which solves a problem that their business is facing, and they would like to implement it in their company. So a lot of new innovative technology ideas that you see in banking are coming from startups actually. So those startups have then been absorbed by those companies to provide services to them. So a lot of such technology startups are coming up. So that is another place you can look for. There are corporate challenges that are thrown. People who have ideas in agri-tech, who have idea, they'll come up with very specific things, like ONGC will come up with somebody who has idea in gas pipeline kind of thing, or gas transmission, may please approach us. And the best ideas will get incorporated and get awarded and everything. So there are a lot of these corporate innovation programs going up, where corporates are directly seeking solutions from startups. You can look at those kind of forums also, and most of them have created a cell to deal with entrepreneurs who have relevant ideas for their industry or their particular company. So you can look for those kind of programs also if your idea is relevant to a particular company and it is innovative, right? So one is that. Another is acceleration program. So I'll tell you what acceleration program is. So incubator program is something that goes on for 2 to 3 years journey of a startup, starting from ideation till the time a startup is either become stable or it has shut shops. Incubator is part of that journey. It's a long-term support, and it's multifarious support starting at a very initial stage. Accelerators are agencies which actually accelerate your progress. How do they accelerate your progress? These are generally very systematic, organized 12 weeks program. Generally 12 weeks. I mean, somewhere around 2 to 3 months, an accelerator program will go. They will select a very small cohort. They call it cohort. That is a group of, say, 6, 7, or 10 companies of similar nature. All of them should have completed their MVP and some market pilot. Now I'm using a lot of jargon, I know. I'll simplify it. MVP is minimum viable product. That means the product which you are ready to go and launch. I mean, which you can take to the market. It should not be a lab version of the product where, say, you want to show how, say, a fire sensor works and gives alarm, and you use a tiffin box and make some crude wire and put it there and say, see, the sensor is sensing the fire and it's giving an alarm. No, not that. When you say minimum viable product, it is a product which you will launch in the market with proper packaging, proper safety guidelines, ready to market with all the necessary components there, which you can take to the market. And most of them actually prefer startups who have already sold in the market, and they have a few satisfied customers who can give the feedback that this is right, this product is right, or this service is working, or they like this product or service. So that's the pilot stage. Pilot means pilot with real customers who are going to use the product, who are ready to pay for the product, and who can give feedback for that product. So once you're at that stage, you can apply for an accelerator program and enter. Accelerator programs might also be sector specific, let me tell that. And there are a lot of accelerator programs happening all year round. There are international programs that you can apply for. There are national programs that you can apply for. Lot of accelerator programs have given some funds for the selected ideas. So they'll select with a lot of scrutiny. They'll select the good kind of promising kind of ideas, and they will work on them for the next 2-3 months with those selected group of ideas, say 5-10 ideas for 2 to 3 months. And there'll be regular sessions on training, and there'll be regular modifying of that idea to turn it into a mature business plan, which you can then present to funders. So either the accelerator program will also give you some small amount of 5-10 lakhs of money, up to 20 lakhs, and at the end of it, at the end of 2 or 3 months, there's a demo day. Demo day is a demonstration day in which you present that your mature, final, tested idea to investors, and they'll invite a lot of investors. You present your idea to them, and those who are interested will get in touch with you, and then if they like it and everything goes well, there might be investments coming in, right? So that is an accelerator program that is meant to accelerate your progress and make it fast. So they work closely with selected ideas for 3 months. So there's a short-term support which comes at a certain stage of business and helps you accelerate that stage. If you're not selected, you still have the incubator, which will be with you for the longer term, right? Corporate innovation programs, I've already told you, and the departments. So depending on what idea you are, you can select the right kind of incubator support for you. And there are a lot of incubators now, more than 150, 200 incubators in the country now. You can select one that matches your needs best and take your idea to them. You can generally visit them and understand how they help the people. So depending on your city, please Google it. You'll find the incubators there. And of course, you can always ask me also if you have a specific practical question related to it, and I can guide you too. So, ma'am, that is all that I think I'll be covering today about idea validation. I am ready to take the questions now.
Yes, anybody having any question? Participants, please ask the question.
Ma'am, one question ask Khyati Gupta.
Yes, Khyati, can ask it.
Ma'am, my question is this. What is the biggest challenge a startup can face after identifying a business opportunity?
So, Khyati, like I mentioned, business idea itself has no value. Everything lies in, the God lies in details and in execution. Okay, and it also depends on what are the resources required to bring that idea to reality. Do you have the right kind of resources? Else you need to change or modify your idea based on your skills, based on the resources you have. The idea needs modification. Sometimes you might not even be selecting the right idea. You might be thinking that people would want it, but people actually don't want it. They are not willing to pay for it. So you might have recognized the need wrong. Only once you do the market survey and the primary research will you get to know whether what you are thinking about your customer is right or not. And this is what happens in most of the technological innovation ideas. Sitting here, you create a program and you think the whole world wants it. Or you create an idea and say, ki, I'll do a business like this. Everyone has been doing it like this now. I'll be doing it this way. But your this way has no value for the customer to pay extra, right? So what we assume sitting in a room might not be what the market thinks or what the customer wants. So one is that. The second is, even if you have recognized the need right, or you have understood the customer also wants it, you might not be able to execute it the way it has to be executed. Or you might not have the right resources to do it because आपने इतना ज़्यादा resource heavy plan बना लिया. The plan is so resource heavy, you require a lot of resources which big companies can do in their project. For instance, when you go for management studies, what is the difference between entrepreneurship and when you go for management studies? You are being trained to become an employee in a big corporate. which has access to all the resources and network. So when they do project planning there, they say 50 crore for this project, 100 crore for this project. But as an individual, when you want to start, that's not the kind of money you would be having to begin with. It could be a few lakhs, which your parents can support or your friends can pool or whatever. So the way you are trying to execute or plan that idea has to be resource light, right? Unless there is an investor who is willing to give you money upright, which generally doesn't happen, right? So there are a lot of things that need to fit in, and then let me tell you, there's no formula for business success. Nobody has been able to decode till date which business will work, which will not work. But mostly, if there's a market need or demand there, and you have served it right, you have recognized the need right, and your solution is right, and you can execute it well. There are a lot of financial failures. You have not calculated the cost right. You are making losses in the business. For instance, I'll give you an example. Flipkart, even when it was sold, it was booking losses. After becoming the biggest e-commerce giant in India, it is still loss-making. Ola, even after becoming the biggest taxi on call radio taxi service, it's still a loss-making venture. It is incurring loss on everything, right? Why it can bear that loss? Because it has crores of billions of funding behind it. But as an individual, when you start, you cannot start with that pretext that you'll get billions of funding to burn, cash to burn, and create a loss-making business. So you have to plan on a profit-making business. And you have to know that there has to be a profit. Financial failure should not be there. So those are the different factors you need to keep in mind. And still, we don't have a formula. 2 + 2 is 4 is not applicable in business. You always try and improvise. Something might not work, then you get feedback from the market, then you change it. Change your product. Many times, the idea with which an entrepreneur starts and comes within an incubator is not the idea he leaves with. Because when he goes to the market, he keeps on getting the feedback. Things might work, not work. Then he improvises the idea. You have to keep pivoting your idea multiple times till you get the right fit for the market, which is finally working in the market. And that is the idea, then you implement.
Yes,
Right? It's a trial and error process.
It's right, ma'am. There is no such formula for converting your ideas into opportunity. You have to improvise yourself. So let me. I think next quiz is also there in your chat box. So please provide it in the chat box, ma'am.
Khyati,
And
have I
any
answered your
question from
question?
other participants?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Anything else that you would like to know?
Anyone else? Any participants?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi,
Yes,
Aishwarya.
Aishwarya.
Ma'am, you have told us that if we don't do the pilot project, then nobody will lend us money. But what if one has a patent?
If you have a patent on a technology,
Yes.
you can definitely try, but generally commercial funds won't be coming. You can always have your personal connects who are willing to give you the kickoff money for it. You have to also plan it in a way where the initial capital is not too much for conducting the pilot, right? So startup philosophy of doing business is don't burn your money in the beginning. Till the time
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
experimented and done the pilot, your money requirement should be minimal, right? And that money which you can collect, which you can invest from your savings, from your parents, or from your known circle who personally know you or trust you with that idea. So once the pilot is done, then you can actually approach the commercial fundings, because people want to see that you can do it, not that you can think about an idea, but that you can actually do that idea. So
Okay, ma'am.
do part is very important in it.
Thank you, ma'am.
So anybody else? Please fill all the quiz link. Thank you so much, Ritu ma'am. Such a wonderful session. And yes, business exists around us. It may be in product form, it may be in service form. And yes, there is a need to choose one idea. Just choose any random idea, as ma'am said. So there is just a need to evaluate it. right? So but a lot of environmental factor is also by which you cannot turn your ideas into opportunity. But no need to create the new things. If you cannot create the new things, so no need to create the new things. You just change your cover. Whatever it is exist, you just change your cover and just present it in front of the other in a presentable manner. Yes. So I think with this word, thank you so much to ma'am for this wonderful session. And I think a participant will get very much aware about these factors, business opportunities, guidelines, guidance. Guidance is very important, because everybody having so much thoughts in the mind, but cannot are not able to deliver it in the right place, right manner. So it's also very important, and I think participant will follow your words. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
Now
you
we
so
are at
much,
the
ma'am.
end of the session. Thank you so much, participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. I'll see you again. Bye.
हेलो मैम।
Yes, yes, Nazma ma'am.
मैम मैम क्विज आपकी मिली नहीं है, कैन यू प्लीज सेंड मी अगेन?
Yes, yes, it's already there in the chat box.
एक्चुअली मैम देयर इज नेटवर्क इशू सो
Okay, no issue, ma'am. I'm sending it again.
ओके, थैंक यू सो मच।
Now it's okay. Everybody got the quiz link? So see you tomorrow with the new challenges, with the new ideas on 2:30. Thank you so much, everybody.